Talk English Vault.
Learn English with podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Talk English Vault. I'm Rose, so happy you're here with us today.
And I'm Max. And honestly, today's episode is one I've been looking forward to for a while, because we're talking about something that comes up in literally every single conversation.
We are. Today we're chatting about how to express opinions in English. And I say chatting because that's exactly what today's episode is. It's just us, talking naturally, the way real people do.
No heavy lessons, no long lists, just a real conversation. And along the way, you'll pick up all the phrases and expressions you need to share your opinions in English.
I love this format because honestly, the best way to learn how people express opinions is just to hear people doing it, naturally, in context.
Exactly. So we're going to talk about a few different topics today, things that come up in everyday life. And as we share our thoughts on them, we'll point out the phrases we're using so you can take notes and use them yourself.
It's going to be fun. Let's just get into it, shall we?
Let's go.
Okay, Max, let's just start super simply, because I think a lot of learners wonder, what's the difference between saying a fact and expressing an opinion?
Oh, that's such a good starting point, actually. So, a fact is something true for everyone. Like, it rains a lot in London. That's a fact. But an opinion is what you personally think or feel about something. Like, I think London is actually a really beautiful city, despite the rain.
Yes, exactly. And in English, when you share an opinion, you usually signal it first. You kind of warn the listener that what's coming is your view, not a universal truth.
Right. And the way you do that is with little phrases at the beginning of your sentence. Things like, I think, or in my opinion, or personally I feel.
And you know what's funny? A lot of learners already know these phrases. But in a real conversation, when someone asks them something, they freeze up and just say, yes, or I don't know.
Totally. And it's not because they don't have opinions, it's because they haven't practiced using those phrases in a natural, flowing way.
So that's what today is all about. We're going to just talk, and you'll hear the phrases happening naturally. And hopefully by the end, you'll feel like, yeah, I can do that too.
I love it. Okay, let's pick our first topic. Rose, you choose.
Okay, let's talk about something super everyday. Social media, because everyone has thoughts about social media.
Perfect topic. Okay, so, Rose, what do you actually think about social media? Like, overall, good thing or bad thing?
Honestly, I think it's a bit of both. Like, personally, I feel like social media has made the world feel so much smaller and more connected. I can keep up with friends who live across the world. I can learn things every single day just by scrolling. I actually discovered this incredible recipe last week on Instagram.
Of course he did.
I know. But my point is, I think there's genuine value in it. What's your take?
So, I actually see where you're coming from, and I agree with that to some extent. But if I'm honest, I'm a little more cautious about it than you are. The way I see it, social media is great for connection, but I think it can also be really harmful for people's mental health, especially young people. I genuinely believe that.
No, I completely agree with that. I wasn't trying to say it's all sunshine and rainbows. I just feel like it depends on how you use it. Like, if you're just scrolling mindlessly for 3 hours before bed, yeah, that's probably not great.
Speaking from experience?
Maybe. But in my opinion, used with intention, it's actually a powerful tool, don't you think?
Yeah, I suppose you're right. I guess I just find myself thinking, is it realistic to expect people, especially teenagers, to use it with that kind of intention? That's where I get a little stuck.
That's a really fair point, actually. And I don't have a great answer for that. I think that's where, from my perspective, education plays a big role. Like teaching kids how to use social media, what to look out for, how to manage screen time.
Yeah, I'd agree with that completely. It's not going anywhere, so we might as well get better at using it wisely.
Exactly. Okay, did you guys catch all the opinion phrases we just used?
We had I think, personally I feel, the way I see it, if I'm honest, I genuinely believe, in my opinion, and from my perspective.
And we also agreed with each other in different ways. I see where you're coming from. I agree with that to some extent. I'd agree with that completely. These are all incredibly natural ways to engage in a real conversation.
Okay, let's switch topics. Max, your turn to pick.
All right, here's a classic one. City life versus countryside. Which do you prefer?
Oh, that is such a classic debate. Okay. Personally, I'm a city person, through and through. I love the energy, the restaurants, the fact that everything is just there. You want coffee at midnight? There's a place. You want to see a live show? Done.
You love your midnight coffee.
I really do. But, okay, what about you? Because I feel like you might disagree with me on this one.
I do, actually, yeah. I mean, I get it. I understand the appeal of city life. But honestly, I think there's something really special about the countryside that you just can't replicate in a city. The quiet, the space, the fact that you can actually hear yourself think.
Okay, I hear you. And I'll admit, when I go on holiday to the countryside, I do feel this sense of peace that I don't really get in the city.
Right, and that's kind of my point. I think most people deep down crave that stillness, but they've just gotten used to the noise of city life.
That's an interesting way to look at it. Though I'd say, for me personally, that peace is nice for a weekend, but after 3 days, I'm like, okay, where's the nearest cafe? Where are the people?
That's so you, Rose.
It really is. But I do think, and I'm being genuine here, that it's about what stage of life you're in. Like, if I had young kids, I might feel very differently. I think the countryside makes a lot of sense for families.
100%. I'd say that's probably the most balanced way to look at it. It's not really about one being better than the other. It's about what you need at that point in your life.
Completely agree. And I think from my perspective, having access to both is the dream. Like a flat in the city and a little cottage somewhere with a garden.
Just a small ask.
Very modest, I know.
So again, listeners, did you notice what happened there? We disagreed, quite clearly, but it never felt uncomfortable or rude, because we were always acknowledging each other. I get it. I hear you. That's an interesting way to look at it.
These little phrases are so important. They show you're actually listening, not just waiting for your turn to talk. And that makes the other person feel respected, even if you completely disagree with them.
Okay, one more topic, and this one is very close to home for our listeners. Rose, what do you think is the best way to learn English?
Ooh, okay. So I have quite a strong opinion on this, actually. I think the best way to learn any language, English included, is just to use it as much as possible in real situations. I genuinely believe that no textbook can replace actually speaking to someone, making mistakes, and having to figure out how to express yourself.
I completely agree with that. And I think that's something a lot of learners actually resist because making mistakes feels embarrassing.
Yes, exactly. And I feel like, and this is just my opinion, the embarrassment is the learning. Like, if you say something wrong and someone gently corrects you, or you notice their confusion and have to try again, that sticks with you in a way that drilling grammar exercises just doesn't.
That's such a good point. Though I'd also say, and I don't want to totally dismiss studying, I think there's real value in building a foundation first. Like, if I'm honest, I think having at least a basic grasp of grammar helps you feel less lost when you start speaking.
Oh, no, for sure. I'm not saying throw the textbook out the window completely. I just feel like learners sometimes get stuck in the studying phase and never quite make the jump to actually using the language.
That's so true. There's this idea of waiting until you're ready, until your English is good enough to speak. But in my view, that moment never comes unless you just start.
Completely. And I think listening, like listening to natural English conversations, podcasts, shows is massively underrated as a learning tool. Personally, I feel like your ear has to get trained before your mouth can keep up.
Oh, I love that way of putting it. Your ear has to get trained before your mouth can keep up. I actually think that's spot on, because when you can hear the rhythm and flow of natural English, the way we're talking right now, your own speaking starts to reflect that naturally.
Exactly. And that's kind of what we're trying to do on this show, isn't it? Just give people real, natural English to listen to so that it starts to feel familiar, normal, something they can actually do.
That's it exactly. Okay, so in that little conversation, we used some slightly stronger opinion phrases. I have quite a strong opinion on this. I genuinely believe. I feel like. In my view. Personally, I feel.
And we also softened things when we were less certain. I think, I'd also say, if I'm honest, little words and phrases that signal, this is my perspective, not the law.
And the most important thing, we kept building on each other's ideas. That's what real conversation feels like. Not a debate, not a competition, just two people genuinely thinking out loud together.
Okay, let's do a quick, friendly recap. Not a big, long list, just the most natural, useful phrases from today that you can start using right away.
To share your opinion, I think, I feel like, personally, I believe, in my opinion, the way I see it, if I'm honest, I genuinely believe, from my perspective.
To agree with someone? I completely agree. Yeah, 100%. That's such a good point. I'd agree with that. You're absolutely right.
To partly agree, I see where you're coming from, but I agree with that to some extent. I get it, though I'd also say, that's fair, but personally I think.
To disagree politely, I hear you, but I think. I'm not sure I fully agree. That's interesting, though I'd actually say, I get the appeal, but honestly?
And to invite someone's opinion, what do you think? What's your take on this? Do you agree? How do you feel about it?
These phrases are your toolkit. You don't need all of them at once, just pick 2 or 3 that feel natural to you and start using them in your everyday English conversations.
The more you use them, the more automatic they become. And before you know it, expressing your opinion in English feels as natural as breathing.
All right, before we go, here is your Talk English Vault challenge for this week, and it's beautifully simple.
Pick one of the 3 topics we talked about today: social media, city versus countryside, or learning English, and record a voice note on your phone. Just 1 to 2 minutes. Share your opinion on the topic out loud in English.
Use at least 3 opinion phrases from the toolkit we just gave you. Don't write it out first, just speak. Let it be natural. Let it be a little imperfect. That's the whole point.
And then, if you're feeling brave, come to the YouTube comments and type out a couple of sentences sharing your opinion on one of those topics. We will read every single one, we promise.
Because hearing from you is genuinely our favorite part of doing this show. Every comment, every message, it means the world to us and to this community.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit the thumbs up. It helps more people find Talk English Vault and join this amazing learning community.
Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. We're here every week with fresh, natural English conversations, just like this one.
And share this episode with a friend who's learning English. You might just give them the phrase that finally makes them feel confident enough to speak up.
Until next time, keep talking, keep sharing your thoughts.
And keep building your English one conversation at a time. See you next episode.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Take care.